Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Asylum with Harley and Joker. Give me 1 second. Parapost Network is acting up.
Always does.
Microphone,
Always does.
go
But
live.
yes, welcome to the asylum with Harley and Joker. The whips and chains are awaiting your arrival. And maybe a
Okay,
strap on or
guys.
two, depending on the night.
I'm your host, Harley, as always, joined by Joker himself. How are you doing today, Joker?
Tired, sore, and need some good loving. Applications accepted.
Okay, well, with Valentine's Day being a couple days ago, guys, we are doing our show today is called Love Letters to a Serial Killer. And this episode's going to be quite interesting because I found this article about this couple who was writing love letters to actual serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and a whole bunch of different ones. And like the woman's husband, his name was Richard. Why
What a
is it?
dick.
Okay, whatever.
I'm
Of
removing it. I'm
course.
just removing it.
Okay.
Let's talk it.
His name was Richard, and he was pretending to be gay and writing like Jeffrey Dahmer and
Hey
there's a lot
Dahmer,
of
Hey Dahmer, how would you like to eat me?
well, some of these letters that they exchanged were quite interesting and like we're going to get into it here, the nitty-gritty. But let me share the screen real fast so I can show you this couple.
I mean, who wouldn't want to write love letters to Day Dahmer? That's the only thing I want to know is who wouldn't. He's called Day
Well, they
Dahmer for a
even
reason.
wrote to Ted Bundy and okay, this is the couple right here. And
Oh, he definitely looks like he would write letters to serial killers.
well, she does too, but most of all the ones
Ah,
that they wrote to were guys. So some of them were writing to her and some of them were writing to him, but not realizing that, well, they were just using it for clout, basically. Okay, let's go into this article. So the couple exchanged more than 3,000 letters with killers, including many that detailed how the murderers tortured, raped, and dismembered their victims. The letters are now part of their new podcast called Killer's Vault. Might have to look that up and listen to it and see if it's still on air. But they said that launched June 28th. I'm not sure how old this article is. So their letter writings was sparked by their interest in what goes on in the minds of killers. That'd be something awesome to try, like to see if we can pen pal with someone who's in prison and like do it to a PO box so they don't actually have our address.
hmm.
Okay, so they're Rich died in 2018, so I guess this is a really old article. He worked in as a corrections officer when they started first exchanging the letters. The couples would find out what attracted the killers to their victim and play on to get closer to them. That's kind of sick, but it is what it is. We don't kink shame here on the asylum.
I'm just seeing a Family Guy scene right now where Ted Bundy's sitting in his cell, rubbing his nipple, reading these letters.
Uh, Yeah. Okay. So Rich managed to convince several gay murderers that were homosexual, including serial killers like John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer. John Wayne Gacy, who was known, well, we all know as the killer clown, and we know what he
Oh,
did.
Pogo the Me Molester. Come on now.
Exactly. So
Tips you down to
in
your
Gacy's
underwear.
letters, the serial killer who was executed in 94 asked repeatedly for Rich to send photos of himself. So fill me in on those hot fantasies, what you're expecting from me. Hey, I aim to please and teach you as much as I know if you are a good student, Gacy wrote in a letter dated July 25th, 1993. Wow, Gacy was a little freaky there.
Oh, Gacy, Pogo, you're gonna burn hell. That's all I gotta say. Pogo, you're gonna burn hell.
So, Rich also exchanged letters in 94 with Jeffrey Dahmer, and we know who he was. He liked his meat really rare. Um, so he after Rich wrote the first letter to Dahmer in prison, the serial killer responded by asking him to send through photo with every unclothed muscle inch of you. And it says, I just received your letter this afternoon and thought I'd write back. I'm oh, it's always nice to get mail from someone new. Dahmer wrote to Rich in a letter dated March 18th, 94. I'd like to get to know you better, but with all of the mail that I get, it's difficult to know who I should respond to. So, in your next letter, would you please send me some really good photos to help me make your letter stand out in the crowd? And the letter goes on to say, you said that you're a bodybuilder. That's good. I'd like to see every unclothed muscle inch of you. I'm allowed to keep any type of photo except Polaroid, so don't take the pictures with the Polaroid camera, okay? Well, Richard, thank you for writing. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely, Jeff.
Ooh, Jeffy baby. He wanted to have Jeff's kiss.
That
Any Kevin Smith fans will get that one, but
okay. So, um Dahmer was beaten to death, and we all know that. So the letter stopped with him after that. Well, it says here that Christopher, well, that's the guy who killed him. Later that same year, Rich and Barb then started corresponding with Scarver, well, the guy who killed Dahmer, who eventually sent the couple photos of Dahmer's bloodied body.
how do you have a camera?
Well, in jail they stick cameras up their butt and they
Hey,
sneak stuff in.
we don't kink shame. We don't kink shame. I mean,
Hello, our
uh,
viewers.
Cartman freaking stuck a whole Walt Disney World up his butt for a romper stomper. So yeah.
Well, and remember he had that big oh, what was it? The thing that he communicated with the aliens up his butt.
Oh yeah, Cartman. Yeah, Cartman gets the satellite up his butt. Yeah, classic.
Why does it look
You know,
so weird today?
you know that feeling when you take a really big shit and it all comes out at once? Awesome.
I don't know what is up with this thing today. Okay, so Charles Manson was sent Rich an undated handwritten note. So Charles Manson wrote him too, saying it was always good to hear from him. And I've been a few years working out in the hole again. Oh well. When the others on me, plus make up stories they want to believe because it adds to their job importance, Manson wrote. P.S. If I got out, could you give me a job?
Charlie, always a smooth talker. I
So,
mean, yeah, Manson
we
was
all
one of the most
know
persuasive people
yeah.
ever. So
So we all know the infamous cult leader died in 2017. But let's see. This letter is from John Wayne Gacy. It says, "Oh, this one got really kind of. I've read this one. This one kind of got raunchy.
oh baby.
If that's the one I think it is. Okay, it says, "Hi ho, Rich. Got your letter. As always, enjoyed hearing from you. Just wish you lived closer." Oh, yes, this one is the one that gets kind of so we could visit too now and then. But then, you're welcome to visit should you get out. But then, you're welcome to visit should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. But then, you know, you're welcome to visit. Should you get out. the St. Louis way. Yes, I'm over the flu, thank God. Hell, hell, while I had it and taking pills, I couldn't get hard on. Couldn't get a hard on. So no jet. So no jacking off from over. Wow, for over 10 days.
Ooh, that's rough. That's rough.
Hey, you've been using that warm oil treatment for the other areas, so you will be nice and smooth.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, have you found that place where you'll be moving to yet? I can see you're excited about moving on your own so you can enjoy life and all its privacy. Hey, nothing can compare with it as I have done so in the past. You can wear as little as you want and do what you want when you get the urge without having to go to your room. Regarding the apparel, that's hard to answer. Not that I'm trying to hide anything, it's just that I have no control over what will happen. I will have to stop fighting, but you have to remember I have been made into this fantasy monster image, so that makes me as unpopular because the public believes all that I have read they have read about me, and you know that 80% of that is fantasy and fraud. Okay, how is wow. He's really being smooth trying to make him believe nothing. You didn't do nothing. Trouble is, I have been made into a political issue. So, with the attorney general wanting to run for governor, you can bet it would look good for him to get a few executions under his belt. So, when you ask if the odds are in my favor, I would have to say no. But anything can happen, and I have had to go very slowly explaining this to my own kids as well as my sister, cousins, nephews, etc. Um, hey, on the phone, I hope I didn't make you feel self cautious about anything. And if I did, I'm sorry. And what a call. It's just a short time to try to get so much in. So fill me in on those hot fantasies and what you're expecting of me. And hey, I aim to please and teach as much as I know if you're a good student. How can Pogo has how come Pogo has no ears? Because he hears a skull. Oh, you could tell these are old. A skull can a while. And believe me, it was hot in the summertime.
Must have been all
Okay.
must have been all those bodies of boys in his wall. But
This place is about this place is, but don't worry, I am up on a hill 70 feet above the river. Hey, be good for now. Have fun. Sincerely, your buddy John. And it says, P.S. Keep in mind the call time is an hour later from you. So my 6 p.m. time is 7 p.m. your time. And I will do it each night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, depending on when I get you. You don't be concerned about missing me while I would have retrained to talk to you. I know how things can come up.
including Pogo's dick.
Well, remember, he said he couldn't do that for 10 days.
Cold medicine does make it more difficult, but it makes it more enjoyable as well. It's a thing. Come on, folks. Get educated.
Wow. Okay, so Bertowicz, who was 24-year-old postal worker at the time, stalked his victims, which we already know all that. So
David
they wrote
Berkowitz.
him also. And like, I'm not even going to attempt to read this letter. I'll show you guys because it is like not even really legible.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there is no reading that. It is not even legible.
Herbert, 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 Herbert. That's what it says. But
But so, like, he filled out this little, like, they had him do a basically a what he likes thing. And they asked him his name, and he gave him his name and his birthday and his height. And they asked most treasured honor, and he said my dick. And he said they asked perfect woman or man. He said Superman/Wonder Woman. And childhood heroes are Jack the Ripper and Frankenstein.
well,
That explains a lot right there.
does he actually mean Dr. Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster? Because there's a
It
difference.
just says Frankenstein.
But he must mean the doctor
Um,
unless he's a unintelligent man.
his favorite TV show are Simpsons and X Files.
Well, fuck.
Fa-
My kind of guy. My kind of guy.
his favorite movie was Unforgiven.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Favorite song was No Quarter. I'm not sure what song that is.
Oh, that's, I
Favorite
want to say
singer
Stones.
was Ozzy. That explains a
Yeah.
lot. Favorite musicians, he put a line through that because I guess he doesn't have one. His hobbies are writing and drawing, and his favorite meal, he put none here.
Yeah,
Well, of
that's
course,
funny.
he's in prison, so God, his handwriting was so bad.
Thank God for email nowadays, folks. Now serial killers can email you.
Yeah, because that was bad. Okay, so he wrote, here's another one too from David
Son of,
Berkowitz.
son of Sam.
Okay, he says, "Hi, Rich. I hope this letter," and he typed this one out. So I hope this letter finds you doing well under the circumstances. I've been praying for you, and I believe that this year will have some nice things in store for you. My heart goes out to you, Rich, at your loss. But I have asked the Lord to show you mercy to comfort your heart. Right now, there's almost 2 feet of snow outside my little window. It's going to be a long winter up this way, and I'm sure it's not as bad as where you are. I have your letter dated December 23rd, and I want to wish you a happy birthday. I had no card to mail out, but my birthday wishes were with you. Well, now this year is history as far as the Giants go. They lost earlier this evening. It was an exciting game. The guys were going wild. I'm not really a football fan. However, I still would love to see the Jets keep going and maybe make the Super Bowl. A long time, I know. Wait, a long shot, I know. You asked me for a photo, and then you asked me to draw you a picture of what I look like. For some reason, this ill put me ill at ease. I know you're
Yep.
kind of joking, but it spooked me. I don't think you'll really understand what I go through and the pain and grief I have in my heart at over the past. And even 25 years later, the media still causes chases me around. I'm ashamed for the past and want to move on. I have the fear that some people write to me for other motives. It's sick. It's a sick world out there. And recently, some even printed a bunch of fabrications about me in the magazine. It's funny how they all say it's all fabricated.
Well,
This has
nobody,
been such
none of the,
difficult
no,
things to deal with.
well, Son of Sam was very mentally unstable to begin with. I mean,
Well, most of
to
these people
fire, Son
are.
of Sam. I mean, yeah, and none of them want to admit what they did is real because if they admit it in these letters, then they can be used against them as evidence.
Exactly. But at this point in time, they were already convicted and they were already,
Your life can get worse. Trust me, your life can
yeah,
get worse based on what you are willing to admit to. And that's why a lot of these killers, like in the serial killer bracket, there's always a higher assumed murders than there is actual convicted murders because they always assume there's more victims they're not being truthful about, and they're not meaning to. Or
Of
you got the freaks who
course.
admit to way more than they actually did, but
Yeah. And then he goes on to say, uh, this has been such a difficult year, such a difficult thing to deal with. If it was not for God's grace, I wouldn't make it. I do not have a recent photo. I have no interest in drawing anything. In fact, a few years ago, a guy in here showed me some kind of catalog or something in which an alleged drawing by me was for sale. He asked me about it and what I thought of it. After looking at the picture out of curiosity, I was instantly able to recognize that the stupid drawing was certainly not mine. I never drew a dumb thing, and I told him so. It was a forgery, and someone was obviously swindling people and trying to sell it. After this, I became suspicious of some people I was writing to who would occasionally ask me to draw something. I never did, and I wouldn't. You understand, of course. I'm glad that Barb is doing well. God bless you, Richie. I wish you the best. My faith in God is strong. I'm looking forward to some good things in this year.
Toucan, son of Sam. Like, uh,
Okay.
yeah, fucking son of Sam's he was a messed up dude. Messed up dude.
So, in an interview with the New York Post, Barber said Rich also convinced South Carolina mother Susan Smith, who killed her two sons in '94, that he was in love with her. Barber said that Robert John Barbo who was convicted in '91 of stalking and killing actress Rebecca Schaefer, was obsessed
Yep.
with her. Susan Smith was obsessed with my husband, and Barbara was really obsessed with me, she said. Why would you want to, like, if I was to do something like this and write serial killers or even anybody in prison, I wouldn't be doing my address. Like, I would be doing somewhere
Well,
that
you
if
figure
it
they're
was
in prison.
him.
You figure they're in prison, they're not going to get out, especially like high profile ones like this.
She said, my husband's bond with New York serial killer David Bertowick was so strong that the murderer is said to have cried after learning Richie had died.
I mean, it's possible. It's very possible. And no one even knows if they caught the right David Berkowitz or not, but
Yeah, but we don't know any of that. This is all crazy.
ain't nothing with serial killers ever normal. So, it's par for the course.
So Barbara ended up sending um, photos to Charles Manson of a local stripper pretending to be her. And he said, thank you for the Valentine card, wishing you the love of space and best wishes. I've been sick. I'm always sick, it seems. I also got your pictures. You're very beautiful and have a great body, he wrote. I watch The Nanny sometimes. I like Fran. Did you know she was sexually twice? I didn't know that. He then went on to reference his arrest and dismissed them.
I mean, shit. If Papa Charlie's into the fucking nanny, hell yeah, that's my boy. It's one of my favorite shows too.
In other
My friend.
letters, Ramirez asked Barbara to send sexy pictures of herself barefoot. So he's a footman.
Yeah, I don't get that. But
He also
he's freaky
filled out a
like that.
questionnaire and sent it to them. He said his childhood hero was Jack the Ripper, and his biggest regret while being free was that he wasn't richer.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about
Oh, well,
that.
during the exchanges with Richie, Ramirez spoke of his fetish with women's feet and how he used to take photos of the women's dresses as they walked down the street in Los Angeles. In one letter dated September 11th, 94, Ramirez said that there's something about Hillary Clinton that he digs. Her calves and ankles are definitely healthy. I think you'd agree, he said.
Hill dog. Woo, 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 woo.
Well, that's interesting. He's a footman and he had a thing for Hillary Clinton's calves and feet.
Uh, each their own with fetishes. We say in this show.
We
You
don't
come
kink
macho,
shame on the asylum.
come macho. You can kink shame all day because that's what I do. But yeah, on the asylum we don't kink shame because we'll meet your kink and we'll make it work.
It's the asylum. We're in the padded room for our kinks. Okay, well, Joker, would you ever consider like doing what they did?
In this day and age, whenever you do it's tracked, no, no, because I don't need to be on a
Well, I
watch
mean,
list.
back in the 90s when it wasn't
Oh,
so.
who the fuck is trying to write a letter? Jesus Christ! Like, who is trying to write a
Nobody
letter?
writes letters. That's what email's for. And like text messaging. Because
Even
you know
even
that
back
all
then,
those convicts got like a cell phone because you see them on TikTok doing their little videos in the jail cell.
I mean, I don't, but I stay off the TikTok because it's poisoning the world. I think.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess that does it for this episode of The Asylum with Harley and Joker. Guys, check us out next week. We will be talking about Selena's murderer and how she's
That
getting released at the end of March.
that's not next week. You're out of your mind
That
with scheduling
is.
here, girl.
Oh,
I'm
no.
Lisa.
Next week we
Doubting the
are
Joker. How
I'm
dare
I'm
you?
going what's ahead 1 week. Okay. Join us next week. We are having our bracket on Friday night, not Saturday. No, it is Saturday. Saturday the 22nd at 9 o'clock. We will be talking. Are we doing it Saturday? Yeah.
I don't fucking
Little
know anymore.
days bleed together for me. We are doing our 90 sex comedy bracket, guys. Join us for all the fun.
Part
We will
one,
see you next time.
and come see what wins the wheel spin to be the next genre we touch. Giggity.
Exactly. Bye.